What is up, everybody? Thank you for checking out the Pat Out of Hell podcast. I am your host, Patrick Christopher. Thank you very much for checking this out, or watching the episode, or listening to the Pat Out of Hell on Spotify or iTunes or wherever else you could listen to podcasts. Um, just wanted to do this quick one. This is a rundown, I guess. Another solo episode, a rundown about, you know, uh, 2022, I guess. Happy New Year's, happy holidays. Hopefully you're doing great. Hopefully you rang in the new year in a good way, good positive way. Leave all the drama, all the old stuff in the past. Start off fresh in 2023 and all that good stuff. So yeah, just real quick, if you could like, subscribe on the YouTube or the Spotify, all that good stuff, that will be helping out a lot. And first and foremost, I just want to say thank you for supporting the Babaco Core YouTube page, all the podcasts on that platform, uh, all the Spotify channels. Anything that has to do with the Babaco Core podcast studio, all the podcasts that come to here, all the places, all the people that have been a guest on a podcast. Yeah, just thank you. In general, just a thank you for being a part of this thing. One of the best things that happened to me this year, or in 2022, was opening up the studio. Partner up with Scott and Jacob and the Duderman Homie Bros, and we got ourselves a studio, man. And it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. It's nice to have a place to record. You know, it's an investment. I put a lot of money into this place, and it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. I'm producing their podcasts. I produce a couple of other people's podcasts. I have people rent out the spot to do their own podcasts and stuff. So it's been fun. It's been interesting. But I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I have that I opened up the studio, and yeah, man. So again, I just want to show my gratification, or gratitude. Gratification, is that right? My gratification. Why does that sound dirty? My gratitude. I'm very gratitude for all the support. Support for the podcast, support for the comedy stuff. Support on social media, all that stuff. All that stuff means so much. And I know people say oh, it doesn't take much to like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. But regardless, if you've done any of that or all of that, thank you so much for the support on that. And just wanted to run down. This is the Happy New Year's episode, the first episode of 2023, even though I'm recording in 2022. But you know how it goes. Got to release it in 2023. It's been a busy year for me, man. I'm pretty stoked about the kind of year that I had. I'm pretty stoked about the stuff that is yet to come. Looking forward to the new year, and who knows what's going to happen? Who's going to come with stuff like that? But so just kind of things that if you aren't in the know, just things that happen in no particular order too. In 2022, I was able to start my own comedy show that I host at the Blind Tiger every fourth Friday of the month. That is called Fantastic Damage. It's Fantastic Damage, a comedy storytelling show, and I was able to kick that off this year. Thanks to the Blind Tiger and all the comics that have helped me put that together, make that a success. I consider it a success. I'm having a blast doing it. When I started Fantastic Damage, it was a storytelling show. My initial plan was to be. It was going to be more interactive. I was going to be on stage with the storyteller while they're going through their stuff, and I would be asking them questions. Maybe popping in jokes here or there, and it's kind of be like a conversation. It was going to be like a live type of podcast type of situation. Because anytime you have a conversation with somebody, it's oh, this is like a podcast type of thing. I don't know. So it was gonna be something like that. Of course, it was gonna be for comedy. It was gonna be a comedy show. So it was gonna be part stand up, part storytelling, and part conversation, podcasting. Um, but right before the first show back in May or June, I chickened out. I chickened out, and I was like, you know what? We're just gonna do a storytelling show. Just I'll tell a story, and then I'll bring all these people in to tell a story, and then we'll just run it like that, you know. And then the past two Fantastic Damage, I decided to take the chance on that episode because I always felt bad about not felt bad, but I felt like that wasn't the show that I had planned. Uh, like even with the artwork that I've created for the flyer for the Fantastic Damage, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's just it's a skeleton guy, and he's kind of like sitting and he's like listening, and you know, it was a whole thing. Like, you're killing me with the story, and also skeletons in the closet type of thing. You know, stories from the past. You know, something that we thought we would never talk about, an embarrassing moment. We're bringing it back to life, putting it on stage and talking about it in front of the audience and stuff. So the whole plan. That was the whole plan from the beginning, was to have that type of format. You know, two mics, me on stage with along with the storyteller, going through their story, having fun, making jokes in front of people, improv, comedy, conversation type of thing. Um, so, but that's how I've been doing the November and December shows. Fantastic Damage show. It was exactly that. I was on stage, second micing uh, the comedians while they're telling their story, and I'm digging it, man. I dig that. You know, there's a couple of things I mean that I need to work on just to make it more solid. But I like the format. I've heard a lot of positive feedback about the format, and I think it's fun. I think it's a fun show. I think it's interesting, and I think doing that in like engaging in front of a live audience. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if first off the person telling the story does not know. I think this is funny. Will anybody else think this is funny? I think this was ridiculous. Is anybody else going to think this is, you know, a worthwhile story to be sharing and stuff, you know? And then you add in that whole like improv comedy conversation, like you throw out stuff, and again, like you hear this all before, we throw out things all the time that we don't know if it's going to be funny until people react to it, until people laugh at it, you know. I think it's funny. I think what I'm about to say might be really funny and add to the story or add to the whatever we're talking about. And then if you hear the response or you don't hear the response, you're like, I really bombed on that one, you know. Uh, but just that whole live in the moment improv, is this gonna work? Is this not gonna work? All that stuff is fun for me. It's fun for me, and I'm glad that I had the chance to create a show that is not only fun for me, but it's fun for the other comics that I have come in and do their story. And I would like to think that it's fun for the audience as well, and that they are experiencing something completely different than just a regular comedy show. You know, just people come in and do their sets regularly. So that's something I'm thankful for that I launched in 2022. Another thing is the like I mentioned before, the Duderman Homie Bro podcast that I co-host with Jacob Flores and Scott Ramos. We're having a blast doing that, man. We have a blast when we bring guests on. We have a blast when it's just the three of us, and we're having fun with that, man. So again, if you dig that, please make sure you like and subscribe on Spotify, on iTunes, and make sure you are subscribed on the YouTube channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, please take a moment and subscribe to that, so you're always watching, or you always know when the episodes are going to come out. I know the guys and I, we plan to put out more content, put out more episodes, have more guests on, do it more frequently, and not just like a weekly show type of thing. And that's only going to be helpful if y'all subscribe to this stuff. so y'all get notifications. You don't know when an episode's gonna come out. We're not gonna be able to plan it, or every Monday it's a Dude Man Homie Bro. It's gonna happen. It's gonna come out whenever we have time, whenever we have the opportunity to release an episode. That's when it's gonna come out. So we need to make sure that you're in the know for that. And in order to do that, you gotta like and subscribe to the YouTube page, to Spotify, iTunes, wherever else. Yeah. So Duderman Homie Bro, that's another thing that I launched, or that I did in 2022. I was able to do more road shows. I did a few shows in Austin, and Plano, Odessa, and yeah, I got plans to do more road shows, either on my own or with the Duderman Homie Bros. And yeah, man, that's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to get outside of the normal, San Antonio scene. Even though I love the San Antonio scene, I think the comedy scene here is thriving. There's a lot of new comics coming in, and a lot of old comics, not old comics, but just vets that have been doing it for a few years now, still grinding, still doing the thing. And I think we're making a legit thing. Out of San Antonio. And I'm able to work at the Laugh Out Loud Comedy Club, the Blind Tiger Comedy Club, Upstage Comedy Lounge, and then there's various bar shows and stuff happening here and there all around town. But being able to get out on the road and go to Austin and do shows in Austin or Plano, and just be in front of a different type of audience, strangers that have never seen me before. I don't know them, and being able to connect with people that you're complete strangers to, it's a great thing. It makes comedy fun, and that's what comedy is supposed to be about. It's all about making the connections. The things that I'm thinking about, the things that I want to make fun of. If you connect with strangers on that, and you can make them laugh, you can make them understand your thoughts and what you find funny, and then they find it funny. I mean, that's an amazing feeling. I don't know how else to explain that. So that's been fun. Been able to do that in 2022. Hit the road. 2023, we're gonna try to hit the road a lot more again, either on my own or with some friends, or with the Duderman Homie Bro podcast fellas. We'll be doing that. What else? Open up the studio. Already mentioned that. I was the show Fantastic Damage. We'll go back to Fantastic Damage. We had a write up done in the San Antonio Current, which was cool. I was pretty stoked when they reached out to me, because I don't know if y'all know the story, but me and the San Antonio Current, we hadn't always got along. All I ever wanted to do when I was in bands, all I ever wanted was to be recognized locally. Whether that was on local TV, local magazines, the paper, stuff like that. So, and what's funny is that, like, when I moved to Seattle, I was on KEXP, which was fucking rad. The band that I was in, he whose ox is gourd, got to play live on KEXP. That's one of my top all-time moments of my life. It was also the same time where I mentioned that I would be leaving Seattle and quitting the band and moving back to Texas. But regardless, it was still a good, good thing to check off. But I was in The Stranger up there. I was in Seattle Weekly up there. Like, I was in the paper. I didn't get to be on TV, I don't think. Not that I remember. Like, all the things that I wanted to do when I was in bands in San Antonio, I never got to do until my last show in the band that I was in at that time, called The Signature. We were playing Maverick Fest. And the SA Current, we didn't know that this was going to happen, but the SA Current wound up doing a review of the festival in general, but they wrote a little review about our set. And it's cool that they wrote about it either way, but I just think they wrote about us negatively. And they made a joke about something that I did on stage. At the end of the performance, I threw my sticks out, and we performed at the Artisan River Theater, which is the stage, and then the river, and then the audience. So when I threw the sticks out, they just landed in the river. I didn't throw them that far, obviously. And apparently, the person who wrote up about it said like it was kind of rock and roll, but mostly funny. And I kind of took offense to that. And ever since then, I've been like, you know what? Fuck Senate, the SA Current, you know, fucking hack ass newspaper, blah blah blah. And and then you fast forward, I don't know, 8 years later, and they hit me up and asked about the Fantastic Damage show that I was doing, and I was like, hell yeah, dude, I love the Current. Yeah, dude, thanks for reaching out. It's so amazing that I'm in the Current again, because it was cool, you know. It was cool that they wrote about the band and the performance the first time. Could they be a little bit nicer? I thought so, but that's neither here nor there. The fact that they reached out and they wanted to put a write up or a calendar notice or a little like FYI to people who may have not known about Fantastic Damage any other way than to read about it in the SA Current. So that was cool. Had the Fantastic Damage write up where they put us on the calendar, and I was in the paper, which was cool. Um, what else? I finally, and now I don't think people might understand how big of a deal this is. This is a big deal to me, but I was finally offered a weekend hosting gig at the Laugh Out Loud Comedy Club, hosting for Vlad Camano. Uh, and I was stoked about that. We'd had 5 shows, 4 or 5. Yeah, we did 5 shows, and it was a blast, man. It was a blast. It's nice to know that I'm on the radar with the Laugh Out Loud Comedy Club. I have I'm so close to getting more opportunities to not only host but feature for national touring acts and network and kind of like get in the business of this thing. Uh, I'm right there. I'm right there, which is really cool. So yeah, that was cool that they offered me that. I also got to do other hosting for other touring acts. Open for or hosted for J.P. Sears, Adam Dominguez, and I think that's it for the Laugh Out Loud hosting opportunities. They put me on. I've been on several showcases for them, for the club. So it's always nice. It validates me to know that the club. I'm on their Rolodex. I'm on their radar. They call me if they need me. So that's cool, man. That's cool about that. Also, they have also given me the opportunity to do a half hour. I've been able to close out 2 of the homegrown comedy showcases and closing out by being able to do a half hour. Now I don't know if that you mean a half hour is a big deal. I mean, obviously, like if you go to a comedy show, like a national headliner and stuff, they're doing an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that. For somebody in my at my level, I guess I've been doing this for 5 6 years, give or take. Depending on what you count. Do we count? Whatever. There was a moment where the whole world shut down and type of thing. Do I count that? I don't know if it's fair to count that because I wasn't actively doing anything. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. At somebody at my level, are years of invested into this to be given the opportunity to do a half hour, not only once but twice, at the official comedy club here in San Antonio. I thought that was great. I thought that was a great opportunity that I was really stoked to get. I had a lot of fun with it. The first one was a little bit more nerve wracking than the second time. The second time was a little bit more loose. I'm still figuring stuff out, man. I'm still having fun, figuring stuff out, how I am on stage, all that good stuff. So yeah, man, that was a great opportunity. Doing my half hour, still working on an hour. Still working on building an hour. I'm in no rush. but I am building up time closer and closer. My plan by the end of 2023 is to have a solid hour. You know, I'm approaching my 6 years, 7 year of comedy, give or take, whatever, 5.5 years. Um, I think there's a lot of stuff. I mean, I'm writing all the time, but there's a lot of stuff that I haven't really worked out yet. But I think by the end of this year would be uh, a good challenge to put upon myself to say by the end of 2023, you have to have a solid hour. You know, and again, my what I consider a solid hour and what somebody else considers like, oh, I could be on stage for an hour. There's two different things. I'm very hard on myself, very critical of myself. I think I had a good solid half hour, um, and there was still a lot of stuff that I left off the table. That I could have added, tacked on to create a 45-minute set, 50-minute set. But you build it. You build it in blocks. You know, it's weird to think like, man, when I first started, it took me forever to do a 5-minute set. You know, and then it took a long time to build a 15-minute set, and then you wind up doing a 20-minute set, and then you wind up doing a couple of half hours here and there. You know, and you build it. It's building blocks. It's building blocks, and it's fun. It's fun to do. It's fun to attempt, and it's fun to learn this thing, man. I mean, yeah, comedy's hard, but comedy's fun, and I'm learning stuff, man. I'm learning stuff, and I'm glad that you're on board with the ride, because that's pretty much what the Pat Out of Hell podcast is. It's just like me talking about not only my progress and process in comedy, but also like this is the downfall of it. This is the pains of it. This is what pisses me off about it. This is what is unfair about it. This is what I like, I don't like. Turn on, turns off, so, all that good stuff. Yeah. Talked about Fantastic Damage, launching the Duderman Homie Bro podcast, which I hope you support as well and you enjoy that. Road shows, closed out the Homegrown Showcase doing half hours, opened up the podcast studio, had a write up in the SA Current, did my first weekend hosting at the club, and then, yeah, dude, finally won my first comedy competition. I am really bad at comedy competitions, and I finally won one. And it was cool. It was cool. It was the Upstage Comedy Lounge House MC competition, and it was pretty dope, man. It was pretty dope. I really had a good set, and I rarely do this where I go like, oh, I fucking murdered, like, oh, I fucking killed it. I'm always like, oh, I could have done better. I could have done this. Oh, I forgot to say this. I forgot to do that part. Blah 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 blah. But no, I feel like I had a really, really positive feedback, positive reaction, positive connections with the crowd and the judges, and had fun. Had fun doing it. I had already convinced myself, you don't do good at competitions. Just have fun with it. Whatever happens, happens. You got other things lined up. You got other things on the calendar. Just whatever, man. Just don't be too disappointed if it don't turn out the way you want it to turn out. But it did, and I won, and I was one of four winners. There was four winners selected. So that was cool, man. The first round that I had to do was against 13 other comics, 14 other comics. And then in the finals, I had to face 10 of the comics, or 11 other comics. And then, won the competition. I mean, although I had to share the win, whatever, no big deal. I'm still a winner. I'm not number one, but I'm one of, the four winners. Which still counts as a win. I still count it as a win. All right? Don't take it away from me. Don't, semantics. Well, you're not number one. Well, I'm one of one. Well, I'm one of four, and that counts. We're all winners in comedy. We're all winners in God's eyes and all that stuff. Um, but yeah, that was the first comedy competition that I've won. I think I've made it. Uh, to pass the first round, pass the second round, but I've never. The winner is. Never heard that before, and being brought back up on stage um, as a winner. So that's cool. Even though comedy competitions are, they're tough because who's judging? Is it the amount of people that came to the show? Are they voting? Is it judges? Is it what are they looking for? What are they not looking for? All that stuff. So I don't really know what's going to come with that. Apparently, there's some gigs involved with Upstage, hosting different shows for whatever things. But I got to share the year with four of the people. So, in theory, I won. I don't know what the prize is. We'll find out what the prize is as we go. I guess. But still, nonetheless, it's still a win, and I put it in my bio. And so I don't know if anybody's gonna like read that and go like, "What is this? Like, what, an house MC competition? You really thought that was notable to put it on your bio to try to book a show?" And then maybe they'll see like, "Oh, he won a competition. He must be really good at comedy. Let's book him to come do our brewery or whatever the fuck." I don't know. Bottom line is, as much as I bitch and complain about stuff, as much as I come off as a hater of people, places, and things, I do also have a soft spot, and I do also appreciate things, and I am grateful for things that happen. And so the point of this show was just like to give you a update. If you weren't in the know, if you weren't on the journey with me the whole 2022, now you're all caught up. You're all caught up, and you're ready to follow me along in 2023 and see how the comedy journey is for that. Again, the Pat Out of Hell will be mostly solo episodes, but sometimes I'll have a guest on whenever a guest is available or whenever time permitting and all that good stuff. But yeah, that's it for today. Again, happy holidays. Hopefully you had a great holidays. Happy New Year. Hopefully you're starting the year off positively. And I think positive energy, positive vibes, it makes a difference. It makes a difference. So even if you're faking it, just fake it till you convince yourself that you're more positive than you are negative. And then you'll find out that good things are going to happen. Hopefully. Not a guarantee. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, but hopefully you're doing good. Thanks again for watching. Again, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all that stuff, at your homie Pat, babacoolcore.com, for all the podcast, information, and, make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube. That would mean a lot. And, yeah, thank you. Check you next time. Latest.